Good evening, everyone. I'm FSU weather student meteorologist Zach Richards. Happy hump day. It was feeling like fall out there. Bright, brilliant sunshine. Sun is now setting, of course, over Doak Campbell Stadium. 60 degrees, of course, with those clear skies out there. Satellite and radar showing there's absolutely nothing going on as far as clouds or precipitation. It's been a really, really nice day to be outside. And really across the whole southeast, we're really seeing that same picture. It's a large area of high pressure kind of dominating the whole landscape right now. And tonight we're looking at 50 degrees with the clear skies continuing. Got that east-northeasterly wind kind of keeping those cool, dry conditions. Tomorrow 70, of course, with those sunny conditions still continuing once again. And for the rest of our show tonight, we're looking at sunshine aplenty for a good ways out. Things are going to be warming up, though, and, of course, we're going to take a closer look at the aftermath of Hurricane Iota and what it did to Central America. FSU Weather Wednesday edition starts right now.
Hello, Tallahassee. I'm Robert Zott.
And I am meteorologist Tyler Sherrod.
Welcome to our show tonight. It's going to be a little bit of a boring one for us here in Tallahassee because, of course, we're very sunny and very, well, dry here, which is something I like coming from Dallas for certain. But we are also looking at the tropics just a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the way you look at it, just sunny skies and pretty moderate weather here in Tallahassee. So if you're looking for some more wintertime temperatures, we're really going to see those temperatures start to pick back up again. So fall/winter was pretty short-lived here, but I'm sure we'll get some more cold air coming through at some point before the year ends.
Exactly. It's November. We've got a full month ahead of us. We're definitely going to see at least one more shot of cold blast here in Tallahassee. But cold is, of course, relative. We're not going to get into like the 20s or anything like that. So pretty, I'd say, temperate for this time of year. Nice and dry, not too muggy. I mean, what more can you ask for? Yeah,
we actually have dew points in the 20s, so virtually no water vapor in the atmosphere, really. Just
exactly.
Completely. I mean, the dry conditions have been pretty nice overall. And like you said, winter is pretty relative for what we're talking about. It is colder than where I'm from in Central Florida, where really during the winter you don't get below 60. If you're lucky, sometimes you'll get in the 50s, but usually in the 70s all throughout the winter.
Yeah, exactly. I know from where I'm from in Dallas, it does get a little bit colder, but also a little bit warmer there. But, pretty boring, but we'll see some more stuff on this FSU weather broadcast. Now we're going to toss things over to Zach on the wall to talk more about our local weather.
Oh yeah, let's zoom out just a little bit here first, though. The southeast, it's really been pretty dry today and pretty nice. 60s, pretty widespread. It is 60 in many locations here tonight. Tallahassee, Montgomery, up to Atlanta, 60 tonight. A little bit cooler over here towards Charleston and Tampa and Miami. You're warmer than relative to the rest of the southeast, but cooler than you have been. So, everybody getting a little taste. The front did make it all the way through. The dew points, though, that's a really big story. 29-degree dew points here in Tallahassee right now, and it's only 20 in Atlanta. That's extremely dry air. That's chap your lips kind of air. This is well beyond fall now. Now we're kind of a wintertime thing here in the southeast. And 30s as we get farther to the west here, Shreveport, Jackson, for those dew points. Now the winds you're going to notice out of this northeasterly direction. They're kind of pretty much generally like that all over the place. Now behind my back here, we're seeing the southeasterly flow, and back here towards Texas and just off the screen that's not mentioned, it is starting to warm up. So big area of high pressure, clockwise flow, really keeping things dry. Satellite and radar, right there in the middle of the dry, that's where the high is. Like I said, keeping that clockwise flow, really things are under control here across much of Florida. Today's storm outlook, absolutely none. So, if you've been looking for a reprieve from the dry weather, it's probably a good thing for you. You're looking forward to it. Let's take a look at the next 48 hours or so. We do have a little bit of onshore flow returning here to the Atlantic coast of Florida, so some of those showers not out of the question as we get into Thursday and Friday. Here in Tallahassee, probably not expecting too much. The rest of the southeast, pretty dry. We expect there's nice conditions to continue. Tonight's forecast here, we see things are really cold as we get up here between Atlanta and Charleston, 40, 30, into the upper 30s. The Appalachian Mountains there are kind of keeping some of that cold air dammed up over the Carolinas, and it's kind of sinking its way into Georgia. Tallahassee tonight, 45 degrees. Things are going to be a little bit warmer, though, of course, down in South Florida, but not as warm as they have been in the past couple of weeks. They're still kind of feeling like fall out there. And tomorrow, once again, still the same kind of idea, widespread 60s and 70s. And as we get down here into Florida, the 70s are really kind of all over the place. Only 80 is in Miami down there. You might make it to 80 degrees. That just kind of shows you how far we have cooled off. Atlanta and Charleston up there in the 60s, really feeling like fall. And as you notice, not really a cloud, a couple clouds, but no precipitation whatsoever. Just in the southeast, it's really been pretty nice, Tyler. I don't know what you could say about that. It's great out there.
Yeah, and pretty much what you've been saying about the southeast, you can say for Tallahassee as well. Looking at the beautiful sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium, really just making the sun look really large, but that's just some of that light spreading out there as the sun setting by Doak Campbell. Currently 60 degrees and clear. A little bit windy with those winds coming out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour. Probably only have about 15 minutes or so of daylight left. As we look at the satellite radar, you can see that there's nothing to see here in the Big Bend region of Florida. No rain, nothing. And it's going to stay dry here for quite a while. As we zoom out, we can see the reasoning for that is this high pressure system here over Tennessee and North Carolina, bring in some drier air right here into Tallahassee. That high pressure is going to continue to move towards the east, and it's going to start to bring us more of an easterly flow here in Tallahassee. So we're going to start to see those temperatures pick up a little bit and become more moderate, but we still have a cold night ahead tonight. Right now, 60 degrees in Tallahassee. Thomasville's at 54. All those South Georgia regions are in the mid-50s right now. And as you get closer to the coastline, Apalachicola, a little bit warmer at 61 degrees. And really the big story is these dew points, very, very dry dew points. Actually, I haven't seen dew points this low in quite a while here in Tallahassee, 29 degrees. As we get into South Georgia, dew points in the low 30s, and then Quincy's our high point at 36, but really you're not going to notice any sort of moisture or humidity in the air here in North Florida. Our wind speeds coming out of the northeast right now, and it's just bringing in all of that dry air. That's where we're getting the dry air from. That high pressure system, you're going to start to see that shift more towards an easterly flow as we continue to build towards the weekend. And over the next 24 hours, you can see to our east, we're going to have some cloud coverage and rain buildup. That's a consequence of some of that easterly flow coming off the coast of the Atlantic, but we're not going to see a lot of that moisture get towards us, and we're definitely not going to see any rainfall get as far west as Tallahassee. Maybe see some cloud coverage, but for the most part, we're going to be pretty clear here in Tallahassee. Over the next 3 days, you're going to see those temperatures start to pick up back into the mid-70s with those clear skies all throughout the weekend, and those low temperatures going to start to get a little bit higher into those mid-50s. And for the rest of the week ahead, we're going to see our high temperatures get almost back up to 80 on Sunday and Monday at 79 degrees. Tuesday and Wednesday, you're actually going to start to see those temperatures dip back down again, 75 degrees for Wednesday. See a slight chance of rain on Monday and Wednesday at 10%. You're also going to see those low temperatures start to build back up. So not a huge temperature contrast when you go from the day to the nighttime as we get into next week. Now, I'm going to pass things off to the desk with Zach and Robert.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tyler. You know, things are really tranquil and nice here in Tallahassee and across much of the United States, but, you know, just a few hundred miles to the south down there, Central America, they've had a really tough time this hurricane season.
Exactly. In fact, right now in Nicaragua, it's only about, 16 miles apart, Eta and Iota, the landfalls?
Yes,
I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was 15, 16 miles apart in the landfall distance. You know, Eta was a Cat 3, Iota was a Cat 4.
Yeah.
So it only got worse.
Well, actually, if I remember correctly, Eta got up to a Cat 4 right before landfall, and it was a lot stronger.
Yeah, and Iota was a Cat 5 weakened just before landfall. So, you know, we're nitpicking at, 5 or so miles an hour of wind speed, which at 150, 160 miles an hour, you know,
Exactly.
is not going to make a big difference when it hits your home. All right,
Yeah.
so, you know, these people are really devastated. We're talking about complete and total destruction of the power grid. You know, basic supplies and food services and all that kind of thing is just down right now. They're really going through it.
Exactly. And one of the important things to remember is, like you were saying earlier, the difference between Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 5 is really nitpicky at that point, because not only do you have winds, you have important factors like storm surge from all those communities on the coast and torrential rainfall, which is causing massive flooding and mudslides, I believe, if I remember correctly. And these are
Absolutely.
all major humanitarian crises right now going on.
Oh yeah,
in
and
that
you know, like
area.
other meteorologists have said, and I've heard before, you know, slow is its own category of hurricane, and size is its own category of hurricane. You know?
Exactly.
But these factors all kind of add up, and you know, every hurricane kind of has its own personality, right? It has its own name, it has its own track. Each storm is remembered for its own thing. So it's really important to not get complacent when warnings are issued. Sometimes you can get really bad luck, and you know, that seems to be what happened here.
Exactly. Another really good example, even this season, was of Hurricane Sally, which wasn't exactly a headliner Category 5, but was a very slow mover as it went into Mississippi, Alabama, that kind of area, and it really caused a lot of torrential rainfall, that same kind of situation we're in fact seeing in Nicaragua right now. So it's really important to remember, while categories are a good way of classifying how strong systems are, at some point you've got to separate yourself. Okay, the storm's going to be strong anyway because it's a slow mover, and it can cause devastating effects, like right now in Nicaragua, which I know can be described as a humanitarian crisis. We are praying for those people there.
Yeah, we do have here some stats. We do have 6 people that have been killed so far from the storm, and about 62,000 people were evacuated.
Wow.
And, you know, what they're coming back to is probably not what they left with. So
Exactly.
really a sad thing to say. Now, Tyler's going to zoom out and take a look at our national picture here for the United States.
Thanks, Zach. We're talking about the southeast and our local forecast. Things were dry, not really much rain to be seen, but that's going to change a little bit with our national forecast. Getting back into the southeast again, Atlanta is 60 degrees right now, Washington, D.C. down to 39, and then Boston below freezing at 29 degrees. That's going to be our cold spot on the map. And as we move towards the west, things aren't quite as cold yet because the sun is still up in our western regions of the country. Albuquerque's at 71 degrees right now, and LA is at a comfortable 63, and then Seattle, it's always raining in Seattle, 46 degrees and rainy there. Current dew points all throughout the country, very, very dry. The only sort of moisture you're going to be seeing is in South Florida and Miami with that dew point of 60 degrees. Towards San Antonio, along that southeastern Texas coastline, dew points at 52. And then on the west coast of California, you're going to see some more moisture in there as well. But for the most part, very dry, especially Boston with that dew point of 9 degrees right now. As we look at the wind speeds and directions, there's a lot going on here, to say the least. Southerly flow through the central part of the country, and then as we get towards the west, more of a westerly and some southerly flow here in Portland and Seattle, and that's due to many frontal systems in the western region of the country that I'll get into next. And towards our northeast, having more of a northwesterly flow, bringing in some cold and dry air from Canada. And here are the fronts that I was talking about. Warm front here in the central part of the country, and then as we get more towards the west, cold front going through Idaho and Montana, and then another one approaching the western coastline for Oregon and Washington right now. Actually seeing some rain-snow mix in Washington. In our upper level water vapor, you saw all those clouds in the central part of the country. This is just showing those cloud tops with the cooler temperatures in the orange and the reddish color showing the higher cloud tops there over Denver. So as we go towards the northeast, you're actually seeing some lake effect snow here in central New York, starting to die off now, but earlier on in the afternoon, you saw some lake effect snow there. And in southeast Canada, in parts of Maine, you're seeing some scattered snowfall over there. But really where most of our rain and snow is at right now is in the northwest. Idaho here, you can see some rainfall and some possible thunderstorms in there, as well as some rain-snow mix there in Idaho as well. And then as we get into northwest Washington, that's where we're seeing some more of the severe rainfall and thunderstorms starting to develop, and also seeing some rain-snow mix as well. So we're seeing some rain from these thunderstorms mixing with the snow. So really got some interesting weather going on there in the northwest. And as we get into New Mexico and Texas, things are a lot drier. no rain to be seen, and this drought monitor showing that they are in extreme and exceptional droughts there in the southwest. That's to be expected, though, because they are in the desert. Some slight chances for thunderstorms all throughout that northwest region. For tonight's forecast, you're going to see those temperatures start to dip down. Tallahassee, 54 degrees, Dallas-Fort Worth, 59, and LA, 52. And then getting into tomorrow, here's our high temperatures for the country. Now we're going to pass things off to Robert with our Local 2.
Yeah, thanks for that look, Tyler. You can see right now today, right now it's a high of 73 and a low of 42. Our average is pretty similar on there. Right now our high average is 72 and a low of 47, so very similar to where we're at right now. But look at those records. 84 for a high, that's not too surprising, it's Florida. But 27 for a low, that kind of shocked me. Like, wow, that seems pretty cold for Tallahassee at least. I don't know. I come from Dallas, so. Looking at the satellite and radar, you can see, well, I mean, there's basically nothing. From all the way to the west to the east, there's basically not even a cloud in the sky, and not even radar clutter. Nothing to really talk about here tonight. So, and as you look here, we got a really interesting phenomenon near the Space Coast that we call clouds right here, going towards the west. And it's not really giving us much of anything important to talk about, just besides we have some clouds. That's something to talk about at least. And we do have a few storms, showers and storms towards Miami. I'll let them have that. As you look towards our temperature, you can see it's going to be pretty cool for us tonight in the 50s from Bainbridge to Valdosta, up to 61 in Apalachicola, but pretty nice and cool for us across the region here. And as we look at the dew points, you can see what I mean by it's boring, but I like this kind of boring. At least it's not boring like hot and muggy. It's really dry, which where I'm from at least, it's really nice in Dallas with these nice 30s and 20s dew points. I mean, come on, you can't really ask for much better in Florida right now compared to that muggy weather we had like almost, what, a week ago? 20s and 30s, I'll take it. Looking at our wind speed and direction, you can see what I mean by it's a little bit on the boring side tonight. Like, it's 7 Tallahassee, 8 in St. Mark's. I mean, some stuff to talk about. Up to 9 in Apalachicola, that's our really high one tonight. And they're all sort of pointing towards the south. So again, not too much to talk about in the way there tonight. But we do have some interesting stuff happening as we go into Thursday night. You can see we have increasing cloud cover and even maybe a few showers off towards maybe Lake City, Duval County, that kind of area. We might have some off towards the west I-75 and I-95 corridors. But over this area, it might just be more cloudy and nothing really important to talk about. Tonight's forecast, you can see it's going to be nice 40s and 50s for everyone. And tomorrow's forecast is going to be fairly nice in the 70s and 60s. So definitely a good day to go out, take a jog, and then take a nice walk with your dog. You know, take advantage of this nice weather while we have it, because it will warm up here. As you can see, we get towards Monday, it does get up to the 79. So, I mean, looking at this weather, it's nice. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not nice, but it's going from the 70s to 79. So, I mean, it's not too much of a difference, but I'll talk about it because we don't have too much other to talk about. We do have 10% for Monday, 10% for Wednesday, chance of rain. We got some cloud cover, but honestly, beautiful week for us right now. So now I'm going to pass things off to Tyler to look at our sports.
Thank you, Robert. Got a couple of sports games here to look at. First of all, Pittsburgh Steelers versus Jacksonville Jaguars. At home for the Jaguars in Jacksonville. That's my hometown team. Looking like at kickoff going to be 78 degrees and mostly sunny skies. Pittsburgh Steelers currently have a perfect record. The Jaguars haven't won since week 1. And as a Jaguars fan, I'm not even sure if I want us to win. Maybe just keep going towards that #1 overall pick. That will probably help us more than getting a win against the Steelers, honestly. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins against the Denver Broncos. 43 degrees at kickoff there at 4 p.m. Mostly sunny skies. If you're going to that game, be sure to bring sunblock because even though it is cold, you can still get sunburnt in Denver, Colorado because of that high altitude you're at. So you want to be careful if you're going to that game. LA Rams versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe that's a Monday night game at 8:30. Going to be 77 degrees with mostly clear skies. The Tampa Bay Bucs have had their struggles during nighttime games, but hopefully that they can pull it off. I would say the Jags are my favorite team, but if I had a second favorite team, definitely the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady going to continue to roll there, hopefully. And then the game that we all care about here at FSU, the Clemson versus FSU game. Saturday, it's going to be 73 degrees and sunny. The game has lost some of its luster since FSU has kind of dropped down. We haven't really been great in a couple of years, but it would always be great to see an upset against Clemson at home. That's all we've got for our sports section. I'm going to send it back off to Robert to look at all of Florida.
Thank you, Tyler. Yep, I'm definitely expecting a landslide for us against Clemson. Florida State, one of the best teams in the country. So we're looking at our temperatures right now. It's going to be pretty mild for us. 63 in Pensacola, all the way down to, up to 75. Last time I checked, it's a little warmer than 63. But it's pretty similar for most of the state. You can see not that much of any sort of outliers here. We've got a nice, well, it was a cold front, but it's kind of depreciated a little bit. That's keeping those temperatures real dry up for us in the Panhandle and a little more moist down towards the I-4 corridor and South Florida. Looking at our satellite and radar, you can see that we are looking at, well, like I said earlier, not that much. We got some nice clouds over here, some more clouds down here, and ooh, look, there's a shower right there. Nice. Not that much to talk about, though. So looking at our closer up satellite and radar, not that much to talk about from Pace, which is right next to Pensacola, and you got Definiac Springs, and you got Bainbridge and Tallahassee, and I can't really see anything to talk about here. So, and Jacksonville, ooh, nice. Palm Coast, oh, look, there's a storm and some clouds. But again, nothing much to talk about. And towards Palm Bay and Port St. Lucie, surprisingly enough, we've got a few showers, actually. One even making landfall here, but it's, again, just a very brief shower, not going to really do anything for your commute. And down here towards Miami, of course, the rainmakers down here, all these very powerful showers and drizzles down here going towards the Keys. Of course, Miami's got to ruin it for us, be that outlier for us there. Looking towards the Florida forecast, you can see Miami is going to stay pretty pretty same on the temperatures from 80 to 81. Of course, you're going to have that higher chance of rain there between 30 and 50%, as Miami always does. And looking towards Tampa, you can see it's going to be a little bit cooler here from 79 to 83, a 10 to 20% chance of rain and a few clouds here. But again, nothing too terrible to talk about. No severe weather, no hurricanes expected, just some good old showers. Looking at Orlando, 76 to 79, again, a little bit on the cooler side. Kind of, as you can see, we go more towards the north. The weather gets a little drier, a little less interesting, but a little cooler, so I'll take it. 10 to 20% chance of rain, of course. And then, of course, Jacksonville, 69 to 75, 20 to 30% chance of rain. Maybe you see some showers on Saturday. And then as we go to Pensacola, 71 to 78, even a 0% chance of rain on Thursday, but maybe a 10% chance of rain and some clouds on Saturday. Looking towards tonight's forecast, you can see our low temps. You can really see this area where the front was. We got these 50s up here, Tallahassee, 57 in Jacksonville. But down towards here, of course, it is a little more temperate for tonight, 72 in Miami. Of course, I do like these color temps, so I'm glad we're up here. As you can also see, that is 64 in Fort Myers, 73 in West Palm Beach, and 64 along the I-4 corridor. So fairly nice and temperate for us tonight. Again, it's a fairly boring weather night tonight, but these temps are not bad. They're definitely something nice to talk about. And as we have tomorrow's forecast, it's pretty same for most of the nation, the nation of Florida. We're not seceding. It's from the 70s to the 80s, 80 in Miami too. So now with these very boring temps here, I'm going to pass things off to Zach.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to take one last look here at something closer to home. One last look for the evening at beautiful Doak Campbell Stadium. Well, it's not quite that dark there. The picture finally came in. The sun, the last little trace of sun there is starting to set. The shine of the lights on the stadium. Of course, some of us will be packing in on Saturday to watch Clemson and FSU. So, of course, we always wish the best. 60 degrees right now with those mostly clear skies. We do have those northeasterly winds. With that aforementioned high pressure system kind of keeping control over the weather. Really see up here towards Thomasville, we get outside the major cities, 52 degrees. And down here towards the water, slightly warmer in Apalachicola at 61. But the dew points, like we've been saying all night, this is what you're really going to feel when you go outside. Dew point of 30 in Valdosta, 32 in Thomasville, and 29 in Tallahassee. That's just hard to believe. As I've said, since I've done the show, I think that's only happened like once or twice we've been below 30 degrees on the dew point. It's quite incredible any time of the year. Also incredible, this radar and satellite picture right here. I will walk from one side of the screen to the other. There is nothing behind me. There's nothing going on whatsoever with the radar. Nationally, you could see here, of course, that high pressure system, reason why we're not seeing anything here locally. We have a little bit of lake effect snow starting up here. So yeah, the lake effect snow machine starting in the northeast, a sure sign of late fall, early winter. And of course, as we're looking here towards the western half of the country, big warm front. Things are starting to get warmer once again in the Dakotas, and a couple of storm systems keeping things, proverbially rainy in the northwest, as we would expect. Next 24 hours in Tallahassee, behind my back here, there's going to be a couple of showers that pop up on the model. Not going to affect us here locally in Tallahassee. We might get some of those high clouds in over the next day or two. But yeah, as far as precipitation chances, we can cross that off the list. 50 degrees tonight, like I said. There's clear skies. Should be an excellent night. Go outside the city, take a look at there's a meteor shower, I believe, that's happening this week. And, the stars, gets outside the city, you might be able to see something. Have those northeasterly winds. Take a jacket with you. You're going out to walk the dog or just on your morning commute. 45 degrees at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we're only going to warm up, like I said, right around 70 or so, but by 1 p.m. we're in those mid to upper 60s. Yeah, 70 officially is the high we're calling for tomorrow. Really not a big chance of rain whatsoever. And as we start to get into the weekend, we're just going to keep those chances of rain really low for that noontime game on Saturday. Sunday, once again, not really a big chance of rain. We're starting to warm things up a little bit, though, as we're getting into the middle part of next week. And the lows are really going to start warming up. We're going to have to, unfortunately, bring back some of that humidity. So the daytime highs, thankfully, not getting too hot. But, Tyler, the nighttime lows are going to be indicative of that the rise in humidity.
Yeah, really, we're going to start seeing those lows pick up and those the highs start to pick up as well. We're just going to be warming up here in Tallahassee. Although we've been kind of talking about this for almost 30 minutes straight. So maybe let's talk about the Clemson FSU game.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So Clemson favored big time, but if we could pull off this upset, it would cause all kinds of chaos here in the college football playoffs. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm personally pulling. Of course, every FSU fan is pulling for that upset, even if it seems like a long shot. But the weather for that game is looking absolutely great.
It is, and a two-loss Clemson doesn't look that great. They lost by the skin of their teeth, and to Notre Dame, another really great team. So anything is possible. We beat UNC. So I think it's likely. I'd give it a 0.1% chance, but it's still a chance.
Yeah. And really losing to a 2-5 FSU team at this point, I believe we're 2-5.
Yeah,
that pretty much put a nail.
2-6.
2-6 now.
2-6.
I
Yeah.
didn't even realize it was that bad, but that would put the nail in the coffin for Clemson's
Yes.
playoff hopes. I almost kind of wish that the weather was a little bit rainier, because I feel like the worse the weather would be, the better shot we would have against Clemson. Maybe they make some mistakes, have some turnovers because of some rainy weather, but really they've got perfect weather, so we'll see how Trevor Lawrence does in his comeback game after being out for a few weeks.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how he comes back from his COVID break. Meanwhile, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSUweather.
Also, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/FSUweather as well.
And watch us live on YouTube if you're not already, anywhere in the world, youtube.com/FSUweather.
You can also follow us on Instagram at FSUweather. If you happen to go to the game, first of all, be sure to follow those COVID guidelines and stay socially distanced from everyone, but also take pictures of the weather at the game and send it to our Instagram.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of seconds left. You got a score prediction?
Score prediction. Well, as unlikely as it seems, I always have to go for the FSU upset. Let's go 34 FSU, 31 Clemson.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to say it's going to be 55 Clemson, 17 FSU.
That probably sounds.
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope so too, but that sounds pretty realistic to me. I think.
Well, we'll have to see. But yeah, from all of us here at FSU Weather, thanks for watching tonight. I'm student meteorologist Zach Richards.
And I'm meteorologist Tyler Sherrod. Be sure to stay safe and stay healthy. I hope everyone has a great night.